to Pillow Lane, and that would be in memory of my grandfather.
Chloe and Solomon also had two sons, Solomon Jr. and Alexander. Alexander and his wife Azora had one son named William Pillow. Solomon Jr. married a schoolteacher named Izora Simmons, and together they had 8 children. Solomon William Pillow, or SW, who married Marie, Alice Frances Pillow, who married Jonas Clifford Patrick, Myrie Pillow, who married Frank Jones, Sally Mae Pillow, who married Frank Armstrong, George Pillow, who married Laura May, Clora Pillow, who married Henry Yoakley, Eddie Pillow, who married Rose, Dan Pillow, who married Vernon, Solomon Jr., who also had a daughter named Anna Margaret, who married John Prim. She extends her well wishes to the family as Clora Pillow Yoakley speaks to her father and grandfather's nature and the difference she sees in children today.
Because this is one of the nicest families that I've ever been with. And you always get a laugh. And they're just a close family, and I like to be in the midst of them.
Okay, my daddy, Solomon Pillow. Oh, he was a very firm person, hard-working man, and he was, what he would tell you, he was very firm with it. He would tell you, and you didn't ask a whole lot of questions over and over. If he would tell you one thing, no, you didn't go back to him no 2 or 3 different times and ask him again. He would tell you, I told you no at the first beginning of it, and that was it. The big farming man, he was a white man that rode around on a horse, and he gave the orders, and everything. That was it. That was the farm. We was on our farm. This was on down on his farm. My daddy was raising tobacco for him. The children is not brought up like we were. See, we didn't get to do what we wanted to do. Children nowadays in time, they almost do what they want to. So you see, you didn't see, and you didn't go, you didn't roam, you just didn't do that. You just didn't see. After my mother passed, we were there, but it was understood Frances, she was the oldest one, she was over us. Frances, I tell you, I don't hardly remember too much about my mama, because see, I was very young. See, I was young when mama passed. I think I was 9 or 10 years old, and then I had 3 brothers up under me. That was George, Dan, and Eddie. But Frances was the head of the house, and Papa was understood we were supposed to do what she told us to do.
The name of Solomon Pillow is no longer an icon in the Murray County community. However, many of his descendants are still thriving and leaving their unique mark all over the world. The Pillow family crest was designed by members of the family at one of their biannual family reunions. It has 4 basic elements that speak to the legacy of Solomon and Chloe Pillow. A Bible and a cross that symbolizes their commitment to God. A lion that symbolizes courage and integrity. A tree that represents their dedication to family and friends. And a farmer holding wheat, which speaks to their roots in agriculture and their commitment to excellence. These symbols light the way as a beacon of hope to ensure that the children, grandchildren, and greatest grandchildren of Solomon and Chloe Pillow will never have to live in slavery again.
This is harder than the one you went to the other day, Pastor. Here. Where your basket at? Okay. Come on, you have to look. Come on, Nick. Patrick. Look in grass. Yeah, look inside the grass. This is too hard. They won't help us. Come on, just look. I want the beans. Yeah, get my egg. Right here. I want the put it in the bag. I want the beans.
My name is Thelma Young Sharp, and I'm the granddaughter of Alice Pillow Kennedy. And she, of course, was a part of the Pillow family. And I have just a few things I'd like to say about the Pillow family reunion. And actually, where this got started, Francis Pillow Patrick, and we were visiting, we actually was at a funeral, and somebody was conversing, and one was saying to the other, I didn't know we were cousins. And she said, Thelma Ellen, we're going to mess around here and marry one of our cousins. We need to have a family reunion. So this is how the whole idea got started. And of course, she told me too that, she said, well, if you help get started, I don't mind doing the work and helping you with it. And so that's how the family reunion got started. And when we first began, there were a lot of people participating, and now we kind of got the hardcore workers, and I give all the credit to the ones who work the hardest, and that's the Patrick Pillow family. I want the Pillow children to remember their parents as being, and grandparents being, hard workers. And I think Solomon Pillow said he never wanted his children to be considered slaves, and he bought much property and left it to his children. I think it was probably 9 of them. I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure there's a record of it. He and Pappy and Grandmama Chloe had about 9 children, and all of them were blessed with properties that he bought. And since then, there's been a bond between us, and I'm sure other families have it. But there's a bond in the Pillow family reunion, or Pillow family that you just can't beat anywhere else. There's that love, a true love. There's concern, and as the generations get younger, they're much more interested in the reunion than we've ever had before. And I appreciate everything that everyone does.
Hi, I'm George Pillow, and I'm really happy to be a part of this video. I think this is great, Joe. I think this is something that we will put in the archives for a long time as far as our family. My father was George E. Pillow Sr., and my grandfather was Solomon Pillow, and my grandmother was Izora Pillow. So that is my connection to this, and I just think that, you know, as the Pillow family has grown and gone on, and now as we've all gotten older, I think that I just want to say I love everybody, and thank you for Joe for doing this, and I hope we have a wonderful family reunion in July.
Fantastic.
Hi, I'm Diane Pillow Black. I am the daughter of George Pillow Sr. and Laura Mae Pillow. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to meet my grandparents, Solomon and Izora, but I had a very close connection with all of my aunts, George Pillow Sr.'s sisters. I spent quite a bit of time in Tennessee growing up, stayed with Aunt Frances, and got a chance to meet a lot of my cousins and spend some time. It's been a joy being a Pillow, and I thank you, JoJo, for doing this video so that all of our family can see each other, stay together, and as I get older, we are all coming together.
All right, hello, we are the Pillow Twins. I'm Dr. Bruce Pillow, and this is my brother Byron. We are Eddie Pillow's two twin boys.
Speak for myself, can't I?
Bingo.
Okay. Hi, I'm Byron Pillow Sr., son of Eddie and Rose Pillow, grandson of Solomon and Izora Pillow.
Me too. Anyway, I guess I'll be coming to the family reunion hopefully this year, and we look forward to meeting a lot of our relatives and loving all the Pillows worldwide, wherever they are.
I'm Warren Young, and my parents are Manuel and Brenda Young.
I'm Koki Young, and my parents are Manuel and Brenda Young. The family reunion means like a time for the family to get together, and sometimes you might meet somebody you didn't know who was in your family. I just think it's a good time for us to sit back and enjoy each other.
Well, she pretty much wrapped it up.
I was thinking about if my grandparents lived in this age, what would they think about the changes that were made from when they were coming along, especially our first black president. And I had to laugh about it when I thought about it because my grandfather, Clyde Wright, he wouldn't have actually thought that he was president because he never thought that man went to the moon. So he would say that, oh yeah, they just have him up there pretending, but it's another person, probably a white man, telling him what to say and what to do, and he would not have accepted ever that we actually had a black president. And in the meantime, my grandmother would have thought that he was the cutest thing that ever lived, and would have thought that, you know, it was just wonderful, and would have probably wanted him to sit on her lap so she could bite his jaw, because she never felt like we were ever old enough or heavy enough or grown enough not to be able to sit on her lap so she could actually bite our jaws, and it would hurt sometimes. But that was, you know, just part of her showing her love and affection. And I can remember that Papa used to say, we're living in perilous times. Well, if he thought that we were living in perilous times during his age, what would he think about it now?
I would like to share my memories of my great-grandparents, Clyde and Clara Wright. I am Tammy Richardson Robinson, probably their favorite great-granddaughter. I stayed with them before I started school. My mother would go to work and she would drop me off on the farm with them every morning. And I remember riding the cows into the barn when they would take them to milk. I remember Mr. J.C. coming to pick the milk up on the milk truck. I remember feeding the chickens, the leftover biscuits, and I know Mama Clara and Papa, they both worked really, really hard on the farm, slopping hogs, collecting eggs, milking cows. Mama Clara taught me how to dig mashed potatoes, as she called them, and that was my first memories of them on the farm. However, I got pecked by a chicken one time, and I never wanted to go back. So the only time I would see them was when they would come to church in Mount Nebo on Sunday morning. Mama Clara probably with her wig turned backwards, going to the mother seat, and Papa a deacon. They died when I was young, but I do still have those memories that will linger on forever.
You asked me the question, what's the difference in being raised up in the country when we were coming up and now? Well, I just about break it down. The difference in it is night and day. And just explain myself, when we come up, we learn something about environmental and nature. And you come up nowadays, we learn how to proper name for trees and things. But right now that you can ask the child coming up the name of a tree, it can be a water tree with waters on it. And they can't give us the name of that tree. And another thing, we learn how to raise gardens and raise our own food. And we learn how to make our own recreation coming up at that time. Nowadays, kids get new bicycles. We made our bicycles out of wheelbar tires and wagon wheels. All our entertainment. That's all the entertainment and recreation we had at that time. Also, talking about basketball. We didn't even know what a basketball was. And football, we take an old rag, wrap it around, make a rag out of it, use it for football. And my uncle, he was fortunate enough to maybe go out to CMA and get some old used tennis balls. And he gave us those tennis balls, and that's what we used for baseball. And then we would bring an old axe with the handle done broke out of an axe, and we used that handle. That's the kind of bet we had at that time. And we taking nowadays, you talking about a country kid would get in the car, and he would take they ride down the road and count the sheep, and they learn how to count that way. Nowadays, children are so busy texting on that cell phone, and either they got a cell phone or either they got a laptop they're working on. So that's the difference in now. And the enjoyment we got out of question one up about my car. The next car is my car. So that's the kind of entertainment we got when we took trips. And also I was saying that we had also we learned how to harness mules. And harnessing a mule is just about the same kind of degree as a high school diploma now.
Okay. When all of my family got together, it was on Christmas every year. We would go to my great-grandmother's house, which is Mary Grandmary, and we used to go down there and eat breakfast, and then we would carry our gifts down there from our house, and we would have each other's company and open up our gifts every year. And we used to always enjoy having each other down there, and we would probably spend the entire day at our house. And so that was a time of the year where my whole family looked forward to having, which is on Christmas Day.